Okay, so I'm going to be doing an impression of various Christian apologists. This is not to make fun of anyone. I think highly of many of these people. It's just sort of, for fun. Okay, without further ado, the people I'm going to do impressions of are Gavin Ortlund, Gary Habermas, William McGrew, William Wayne Craig, Jordan Peterson, and Peter Hitchens. Okay, first, Gavin Ortlund. I've been thinking about Monongianism, the idea there are distinct ways for a thing to be. And not only is it intellectually powerful, it's very emotionally satisfying. It's just such a happy thought. There are distinct ways that things could exist. So when I think about that, I think it's emotionally compelling, intellectually compelling, and compelling to the heart. That's what you would expect the truth of the gospel message to be. It should not just intellectually satisfy, but it should capture and captivate you. So I think that's such a powerful idea behind the ontological argument. Okay, Habermas. I spoke to Bart Ehrman. I went to him with a coffee shop, and we spoke for 45 minutes. And I said, Bart, do you grant the facts granted by the vast majority of New Testament scholars? And he says, I'm willing to grant some of them, Gary. So I said, we can construct an argument from just the facts that you're willing to grant. And the vast majority of New Testament scholars, we can construct an argument from that to the fact that Jesus rose bodily. Not just that Jesus rose, but that Jesus rose bodily. A lot of people, they say, what do you say about Bart Ehrman and Gary Haber and various other skeptical historians? I say, show me the skeptical historians and I'll show you the minimal facts which are granted by the vast majority of New Testament historians that from which you can construct a powerful argument for the resurrection. I can show you these 10 facts granted by at least 2 million% of New Testament historians. Every New Testament historian grants those facts 20,000 times. And they say that these facts happened, and they indicate that Jesus rose bodily. Okay, William McGrew. Well, so I think it's important that we adapt a maximal data approach to the resurrection because the minimal facts are just wildly insufficient to establishing the truth of the resurrection. And so in response to Apologia here, he has his little jingle about how we believe the Bible because the Bible tells us. We believe the Bible because of independent attestation and of them getting things right, combined with this argument from undesigned coincidences. So just because we're arguing for the reliability of the Gospels doesn't mean we're deserving of this sort of dismissive jingle where you say we only believe it because we just have blind faith. I think it's a really unfair and silly way of reasoning. Okay, Craig. Now, first turn to my Kalam cosmological argument, which states that whatever begins to exist has a cause. And because the universe began to exist, the universe must have had a cause. Now, what must this cause be? Well, this cause must have brought about all of time, space, and matter. So it must be a timeless, spaceless, immaterial, enormously powerful, transcendent, personal creator. Turn then to my first contention in this argument that everything which begins to exist has a cause. First, this premise is a metaphysical first principle. After all, if universes can pop into being out of nothing, why not Beethoven or root beer? What makes nothing so discriminatory? Peterson. Well, you ask me about the resurrection appearances. Do I believe that Jesus appeared to the disciples? It's like, well, it depends on what you mean by appearances. Do I think he saw them? Well, what do you mean by saw? It's like this gets to the metaphysical bedrock of the fundamental reality of being. So it's not like the kind of thing where you can just say, well, everyone knows what that word means. It's actually a bloody deep question, and it gets to the errors of postmodernism, where they say that it's all relative, and it's like it's not all relative. It depends fundamentally on what the nature of being is, and it's like once you get a conception of the nature of being, you'll need some way to distinguish and differentiate that thing which is from, in the hierarchy of values, from that which is not, and it's like, what is that other than God? Okay, now Peter Hitchens.
Well, I've been considering the resurrection evidence for many years, and frankly, I'm quite bored of it. It seems to me that the people who have considered it have made up their minds, turning Britain into some backwards waste-bin crack house and ruining the Christian morality on which this great nation and civilization was going built. If you want some sort of liberty and freedom of the type that goes on in the Americas, become a crack dealer in the United States. Get out of Britain and don't pollute the country of Britain. Okay, I realized that one wasn't as good as the others, but anyways, thanks for watching.